So I have cut up potatoes into even sized pieces. I am going to season the water quite well, and I'm going to boil that until the potatoes are soft enough to mash. My potatoes are fully cooked. These have boiled for 10 minutes until they're soft, and what we're going to do is we're just going to mash them up so that they're all mashed with no lumps. And what we're going to do is we're going to let these cool slightly, and then we're going to add the egg yolk. What I did with my potatoes, I boiled them for 10 minutes and then I sat them back on the heat for a wee minute just to let the moisture and the excess water dry off. So potatoes mashed, and I'm going to sit those to the side and let them cool slightly. Now that my potatoes have cooled a little bit, I'm going to add in my 2 egg yolks, so they go straight in. And what we're going to do, using a wooden spoon, we're going to beat those egg yolks in until they are fully incorporated. So once you've got all that mixed in, it's ready to go into your piping bag. So get that nice and smooth. And we're going to take a piping bag, fold over the top, and we are going to pop our mashed potato straight in until we've got all our mashed potato into the bag. You can see that I have drawn 4 8cm discs onto a piece of baking paper. And I'm going to take my piping bag and I'm going to make a base of mashed potato on the first circle. So I'm basically just going to go round and round to form the base. And all I'm going to do is pat that down to make sure that it covers the circle, so it's looking like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe one wall of potato around the edge, and this is going to form your nest so that it can hold the filling. So that is your first wall, and we're going to go for the second. So we're just piping straight on top. There we are. So there you have your first potato nest, and you're going to finish the other 3. So I have my 4 potato nests, and I'm going to glaze these with a little bit of milk. So very gently glaze them with milk and glaze all 4. And these are going to go into the oven for 20 minutes until golden brown and they've firmed up. Potato nests have just come out of the oven after 20 minutes, and you can see they are nice and golden brown. So I have julienned my leeks, and I have a pan of water that has been brought to the boil. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply blanch our leeks for a few minutes, and they're only going to blanch for 2 minutes, and then we are going to refresh them in cold water. So my leeks blanched for 2 minutes, and all I'm going to do is, with a slotted spoon, take them out and plunge them into really cold water. Make sure you take them all out, and blanching is just a way of taking away the bitterness of the flavour of the leeks and to soften them a little before we use them in our recipe. Take them all out. And then what you're going to do with your leeks that are in the cold water, you're going to simply drain them over the sink and reserve them for when you're ready to use them. So in a shallow pot, I have 150 ml of milk and 100 grams of smoked fish, and I'm gently poaching this for 6 to 8 minutes until the fish is cooked and begins to flake. So in a pot we have 15 grams of margarine melting, and I'm going to add in 15 grams of flour, and we're going to stir that and cook it out for a minute or so until the roux has cooked. Once we've done this, we're going to remove it from the heat and add our milk. Gradually added my milk, and I've now returned my white sauce to the heat, and I've brought it to the boil. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer here, and I'm going to stir it until it starts to thicken and coats the back of my spoon, and I'll show you exactly what we want it to do. So it's coating, starting to coat the back of my spoon, and it's a nice smooth sauce. Once you've done that, remove it from the heat. So we have our white sauce, and into that we're going to add the leeks that we have strained. They're going straight in. We're going to add 35 grams of the grated cheese and all of the fish. And I'm going to season that with a little bit of salt, not too much because it's smoked fish, there's already salt there. A little bit of pepper, and give that a good mix without mixing it too vigorously, because you want to keep the flakes of fish intact. So we have something like this. Got my fish nest here again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to evenly spoon my mixture between the 4 fish nests until you've used up all of your mixture. So we have our filled potato nests, and we're going to sprinkle this with the remaining cheese that we have, and these are going to bake in the oven for 15 minutes at 180 degrees. Remember, the actual fish nests alone were cooked at 190, and so the filled nests are cooked at 180 until they are golden brown. Okay, so our fish potato nests are out of the oven, golden brown, and the cheese is bubbly on top, and we're just going to sprinkle with some freshly chopped parsley.